So, you think your boss is tough? That's not always the worst thing. I once had a boss. Well, let's just say she was a real Jan. You always knew where you stood, which was usually in the line of fire, but at least it was consistent. The real problem, the thing that really ties your stomach in knots and makes you want to fake a dentist appointment, is the unpredictable boss. One day they're your best friend, the next they're questioning why you used a semicolon in an email. It's a roller coaster you didn't buy a ticket for. Today we're going to dive deep into the fascinating and sometimes terrifying world of leadership styles. And what better way to do that than with a timeless classic? No, not Threat Level Midnight. We're talking about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Think about it, that little cottage in the woods? It's basically a small branch office, a Dunder Mifflin of the forest. And those 7 little guys? They're not just minors, they're archetypes of every manager you've ever had, for better or for worse. So grab your pickaxe and a cup of coffee, or maybe something stronger, depending on which boss we're talking about. And let's get to it. We're going to break down each dwarf, from the perpetually annoyed to the blissfully unaware, and see what we can learn. This is more than just a fairy tale. It's a field guide to navigating your office, and maybe, just maybe, recognizing a little bit of yourself in the process. It's going to be fun. That's what she said. All right, first up, Grumpy. We all know this guy. He walks into the office and you can feel the temperature drop a few degrees. His default setting is annoyed, and his morning greeting sounds less like good morning and more like a warning. The thing with Grumpy isn't just that he's, well, grumpy. It's the unpredictability of it all. One day he might grunt in approval at your quarterly report. The next, the exact same report sends him into a tirade about font choices. You're constantly walking on eggshells trying to read the signs like a meteorologist predicting a hurricane. It's exhausting. This kind of leadership creates a culture of fear, not respect. Team members stop bringing up new ideas because they're afraid of getting their heads bitten off. They'll avoid asking for clarification, which leads to mistakes, which, ironically, just makes Grumpy even grumpier. It's a vicious cycle. You spend more energy managing his mood than managing your actual work. And when he does have a rare good day, you don't trust it. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're pretty sure it's a steel-toed boot. Next, we have Sleepy. Now, this manager isn't mean or angry. In fact, they're often quite pleasant in a detached, barely there kind of way. The problem with a sleepy leader is the profound lack of energy and engagement. They seem to be in a perpetual state of low battery mode. You'll pitch an exciting new project, full of potential and groundbreaking ideas, and they'll respond with a slow blink and a non-committal, interesting, let's circle back. But you never circle back. The circle is broken. It's a flat line. This creates a vacuum where motivation goes to die. Without a leader to champion projects, drive initiatives, and make timely decisions, everything just stalls. The team feels like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly while other, more awake departments sail right past them. Opportunities are missed, deadlines get fuzzy, and the team's passion slowly fizzles out. A sleepy leader might not be actively causing problems, but their inaction is a problem in itself. It's like being on a team coached by a mannequin, a very tired mannequin. Now let's talk about Sneezy. This manager is the king or queen of distractions. It's not that they don't care about the work, it's just that they're constantly derailed by their own allergies. These aren't actual pollen allergies, of course. We're talking about an allergy to focus. One minute you're discussing the budget, the next they're telling you about a new app they downloaded, a podcast they listened to, or a problem they're having with their new smart fridge. The meeting's agenda is just a suggestion, a vague rumor of what you were supposed to talk about. This constant achoo of new unrelated topics completely derails productivity. Team meetings that should take 30 minutes stretch into an hour and a half of tangents and sidebars. You leave feeling like you ran a marathon but never left the starting line. It's frustrating because you can see the potential for progress, but it's always just out of reach, hidden behind a cloud of conversational dust. The team learns to expect interruptions, and it becomes hard to build any real momentum when your leader is the primary source of distraction. Oh, bashful. This one is tough because you often feel bad for them. The bashful leader is usually a perfectly nice person, but they're, crippled by a lack of confidence. They were likely promoted for being good at their job, not for being a leader. And, well, it shows. They hesitate to make decisions, constantly seeking consensus for even the smallest things. They'll ask the entire team to vote on the color of a presentation slide. Instead of giving direct feedback, they'll hint at things, hoping you'll read between the lines of their blushing and stammering. This creates a huge amount of uncertainty for the team. When your leader isn't confident, how can you be? You start to second-guess your own work. The team can become paralyzed, waiting for a firm direction that never comes. Projects stall not because of a lack of ideas, but because of a lack of assertive leadership to approve them. And when a tough decision absolutely has to be made, the bashful leader might just disappear, hoping the problem resolves itself. It's like being led by a ghost who is afraid of its own shadow. And then there's Dopey. Bless his heart. The Dopey manager isn't malicious, just incompetent. They often make baffling decisions with a big, cheerful smile on their face. They might have gotten the job for reasons other than merit. Maybe they're the founder's nephew, or they just failed upwards. They lack the expertise for the role, but they also lack the self-awareness to know it. So they'll confidently approve a disastrous marketing campaign or implement a new workflow that makes everyone's job 10 times harder. The biggest danger with a dopey leader is that they don't consult their team. They operate in a blissful bubble of ignorance, thinking they have all the answers. The actual experts on the team, the people doing the work every day, are ignored. Their warnings go unheard, their suggestions dismissed with a pat on the head. It's incredibly demoralizing to watch your well-meaning but clueless boss drive the department bus straight towards a cliff, all while whistling a happy tune. You end up spending half your time doing your job, and the other half trying to subtly clean up their messes. Happy. Everyone loves a happy manager, right? They bring donuts, they remember your birthday, they fill the office with infectious positivity. And that's great. A positive work environment is something to strive for. But there's a potential downside to relentless cheerfulness. The happy leader often prioritizes being liked over being an effective leader. They can be conflict avoidant, shying away from the tough conversations that are necessary for growth and accountability. They don't want to upset anyone. This can lead to problems festering under the surface. Poor performance goes unaddressed, interpersonal conflicts between team members are ignored, and difficult feedback is never given. The team might feel good in the short term, but long-term standards slip and resentment can build. Eventually, the constant need to be the good guy can wear the happy leader down, especially when faced with team members who might take advantage of their reluctance to be firm. It's a reminder that leadership isn't just about being a cheerleader, it's also about being a coach, and sometimes a coach has to make the tough calls. Finally, we arrive at Doc, the leader of the pack. Doc isn't perfect, he can get a little flustered and mix up his words, but he represents the ideal we should all be aiming for. He's the balanced leader. He's knowledgeable and has the expertise to guide his team, but he's also humble enough to listen. He's decisive, giving clear direction when it's needed, but he respects the individual skills of his crew. He knows Grumpy is grumpy, but he also knows he's a reliable worker. He doesn't try to change everyone's personality, he leads them as they are. Doc earns his authority not through fear, like Grumpy, or through inaction, like Sleepy, but through competence and respect. The other dwarfs naturally look to him for guidance because they trust his judgment. He organizes the work, he sets the pace, and he keeps everyone focused on the goal, whether it's mining for diamonds or getting through the quarterly earnings report. He's the steady hand on the tiller. He provides the structure and clarity that allows everyone else, with all their quirks and flaws, to do their best work. This is true leadership. So there you have it, the entire management team of the Enchanted Forest branch office. From the moody Grumpy to the wise and steady Doc, each dwarf shows us a different facet of leadership. The truth is, most leaders aren't just one of these. We all have a little bit of each in us. I've had my grumpy days, believe me. I've definitely had my dopey moments, like the time I thought a fun run for charity was a good idea. For rabies, it wasn't. The key is self-awareness. Reflect on your own style. Do you shy away from conflict like Happy? Do you get lost in tangents like Sneezy? Recognizing these tendencies is the first step toward becoming a better leader. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to strive for the balance that Doc represents. To be knowledgeable but humble, decisive but respectful, and to lead in a way that makes your team want to follow you, not because they have to, but because they trust and respect you. Ultimately, leadership is a journey, not a destination. It's about learning, adapting, and trying to be the kind of boss you'd want to work for. So ask yourself, which dwarf are you? And more importantly, which dwarf do you want to be? Thanks for watching. And remember, a good manager doesn't just manage the work, they lead the people. It's a big responsibility. That's what she said.